Yes, I too am delighted to get the opportunity to speak here on this emergency powers extension, and I believe the extension is way too long. It's going for 7 months, right up to next June. We all supported at the very outset all the emergency powers, and the Taoiseach was wrong, in fact, to suggest that Deputy Healy-Rae didn't support any of the measures. Everybody in this House did, and we did our best. But there has been no pre-led scrutiny at any time. I know you had a briefing yesterday, Minister, but no proper debate how this goes. And I know your colleague earlier, your female colleague, Deputy Jennifer McNeill, I think, was telling us that we could ask questions of the Justice Committee. We've had no debates, no discussion, only just emergency powers. And I believe that this is proportionate and extreme. And I believe that they are not logical, most of them. They're just banged together and fired together and both fall to Ireland were supposed to be blamed for drawing them up. So we're told, especially the €9 meal, that you could be saved from the virus if you had a €9 meal. Such, crazy situations like that. Publicans and many other businesses, hairdressers, beauty saloons, you name them, they all went in and put up, and many shops and all small business put up the shutters, put up the perspex and the sanitizer, and did everything, and then they've been closed again after all the expense they went to. It's just so unfair. And now we want to extend these powers for the next, as I said, 7 months, which I'll be opposing. And I am supporting the Sinn Féin amendment to have them reviewed again in February, because I think they should be. Public confidence, the Gardaí can't govern without the support of the people, and they have that, thankfully. And I want to thank the Gardaí in Tipperary, and the Community Gardaí under Chief Superintendent, Mark Small, and indeed Superintendent Whelan and Care and Neil Hain Clonmel, and all the Gardaí. Community Garda and Care, Sarah Ray Maloney, and indeed an old Lavin who's visiting the elderly and going out to them, and that's wonderful for the Gardaí. But elderly are cocooned and locked away now, and it's just totally unfair. It beat Banagher out altogether that they can't have a worship in a church. A wedding can take place with 25 people, or indeed a funeral with 25 people, which is so sad, and yet you can't have it open for mass. And if the pastor or a priest or any minister of any religion says a public mass, he can be fined €2,500 or even jail. That is shocking. I think it's 1826. Those acts were repealed from the penal laws, and now we've them back again. So what are we trying to do? Frighten the people? Minister, we also have something I want you to answer as well. You've been asked about the mats, because it's a very important time for farmers. You've been pleaded with to allow the mats go ahead. And how many big airy places, and they've made huge strides there as well. They just simply cannot do them online. You've been asked about the gyms. For the people, I've heard tellers on to me, I have elderly people crying they can't go to the gym this time of year. The coursing was stopped. And I want to ask you something, Minister. We got clarity today, I think, from Minister Chambers about the game shooting, which was announced last Thursday evening. Suddenly, that was being stopped. And he informed us today, the committee, that questioning that it wasn't any ministerial order or any order, for that matter. That was the Garda Síochána that brought out this law last Thursday, that people shouldn't go out with their dog and their gun and whatever else. So what are you trying to do with people? People want to support you, but you're not supporting them. You're not allowing the very modicum of you know what I mean, solace that you can go out with their gun and with their dog for a walk. They can go to a walking stick and a dog for 5 kilometres. They're not going to shoot anybody, thankfully. They're good, respectable people in good game clubs that have preserves, and I want to salute my own game club, the Ballybacon, Newcastle and Grange, and a Finnan game club who do huge work in preservation and have all their pheasants and rear them, look after them well, and do restocking and do everything else. And this is their only recreation, this is the only season open. So many areas like that. But as I said, there's so many anomalies, there's so many discrepancies, so many inconsistencies, and the people are confused. But these are draconian powers by any manner, and you're losing the people, you have lost them. And I became aware of a situation today where a gentleman went to Turkey, and rightly so, living here, to his parents' funeral, one of his parents, and the plane was full, leaving with Irish tourists going to Turkey. You have never ever addressed the airports. You've refused to address the airports, coming or going. And I think that is unbelievable if that's happening, when people can't go for a walk, when people can't go to mass or any church service, when people can't go to a funeral, when people can't get their nails done or their hair done or anything else. The barbers too went to huge expense to get their premises open. And the shopkeepers and the clothing. I was talking to a wonderful draper yesterday, Bell O'Gorman, Mr. 3 shops giving great employment. He cannot even sell his summer stock. What are they supposed to do? And then you've ruled out many people from payments if they weren't paying rates. You've ruled out everyone over 66 from any type of a payment. So there's inherent inconsistencies and unfairness with this regulation. And I and my rural independent group are opposing it totally. Thank you.